Alright, this is Eric Stone. Let me move up here a little bit quicker, a little bit, closer. Anyways, this is I can do it on I did it on Facebook one time, but I want to try to get my YouTube views up and the subscribers and stuff like that, So check me out at Aspiring Music Writer. That's what my, channel is. But this, I talk a lot about music, pretty much everything, and comedy. I'm a big, music lover. Been studying it since I was probably 17. I do, influence the session on, I do episodes of Influenced. I've got, Graham Parsons is a recent one. Then Crossing and Ragged, which I'm going to start doing regularly. These, I'm going to do it as I get inspiration. But anyways, this is things called Dream Big and Walk by Faith. It's something I thought of. I'm not a, perfect guy. I'm drinking right now. I'm feeling pretty good. This, like I said, this is pretty much introduction, how I found my gift and stuff like that. But anyways, back in 2016, this is almost 4 years ago. I'm not good with math, so it might have been, I don't know. But anyways, and I live in a small town. I work for my family, and it's just, at that point in my life, I wanted something more, but I didn't know what I wanted or how to go about getting it. So where you at, Fred? Oh, okay. Anyways, my dogs, I just make sure my dog. But anyways, didn't know what I wanted, I want to do something in music. No one believed I want to do anything, this or that, And I started going kind of through a depression. And before that, I'd met a guy that I now work with that's like, dude, you know more about music than anybody I've ever met. And at this time, I was only like 28, 29, something like that. And he goes, what you need to do, because I was talking about him songwriting, Carson and Ragweed this, Jason Bowen that, Jason Isbell this, Jason whatever, Red Dirt, Old Country, Graham Parsons, just these different things. I was like, get down, Fred. My dog's named Fred, honest to God. My dog, here you go, Fred. Fred. I don't know if you've seen him. But anyways, he's like, dude, write a song. You need to start writing songs. You're so obsessed with music. I was like, dude, I've tried. Can't, just do it. Dude, I've tried. I can't. So a couple weeks went on or whatever. And just this one night I was at home. I'll tell you a little bit more to make this a little bit more, not sensitive, but a little more understandable. Get down. But anyways, I was born with a missing valve in my heart. So during when they were repairing it, I had a stroke that affected the right side. This is my hand. This is how it is all the time. I had a stroke which affected my right side. I limp, and I didn't have very many friends. I was very, very, very shy. Literally, like, if you come up to me and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, good. And that'd be that, so low you couldn't hear me, I just did not believe in myself. I felt comfort in a lot of music. the very first musical group that I found comfort in was Creed. Came out in 97. Or their first album, I can't remember when they actually got together. And then it went from Creed to Cross Canadian Ragweed to just down the line, which I'll talk about later in other videos. And it's just, like I said, and it got to the point it was the same shit every day. I mean, same old thing. I was like, there's got to be more than life than this. There's got to be. Because I was just getting up, going to work, coming home. Getting up, going to work, coming home. Same routine, not going out. Because I was so shy, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And so, for some odd reason, God, yes, I'm a Christian, and I'm a cussing one, and I'm not that good. I'm an entry-level Christian, as Steve Harvey puts. Steve Harvey's a big influence on me. But anyways, so I'd found, was watching Steve Harvey, because I love comedy. Stand-up comedy and music are like my two biggest things I love. So found this jump video. It's like, if y'all have seen it, go check it out. You need to see it. If you're struggling like I was back in 2016. But anyways, it started off, I just started worrying about different stuff that amount to a damn thing. I mean, it didn't. I thought I was allergic to milk at one time. I thought I was allergic to this. There for a while, I had stomach issues. Just everything worried me. Stress. So, I was like, something's got to give. One night, no, wait. Yeah. I seen the jump video, and then, I don't even know what I want to do, though. I mean, I wanted to be a songwriter, but I didn't know how about doing it. I've never wrote a song. I never wrote anything. As I had to in school, Now, about this time, I did start a novel. But we'll get into that here a little bit later. If my phone gives me enough time. But, I was watching the show one night, like I normally watch. And I've never been suicidal. When I was a teenager, like I said, I didn't have very many friends. I mean, I was a likable guy, just shy. And people did talk to me. I just didn't talk to them very much unless I knew them really well, That wind feels really good. But anyways, and I was watching this show one night and had to deal with suicide. Like I said, stuff like that never had bothered me. When I was little, I was like, well, if I died tomorrow, I wouldn't care. At that point, I didn't care, just because I was shy. No one believed I could do anything. Well, you got one arm, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. And I heard that my whole life, up until a certain point, but I was like, I got tired of that shit, and I believed it. Because I want to learn how to drive a standard one day. I want to learn all this stuff. But anyways, let's get back to the matter at hand. So, I watched the show, and I just could not let it go. And I'm a mama's boy, I will admit that. I talk to my mom a lot more than my dad. And I love my dad, but we don't have any of the same hobbies, so it's hard to talk, two people that don't agree or not agree, but I mean, just don't like anything, But anyways, and I was like, told Mom, I can't stop thinking about it, killing myself, and I'm like, dude, I've got to get help, because at this point, I'm like, I need to go to a mental hospital. No, you don't either. Blah, 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 And so this went on for about 2-3 weeks. Just this mental or suicidal thoughts. So I told the doctor about it at one of my regular doctor's appointments. And he'd put me on Ambien, which I did not know at the time that it had suicidal thought effects. That was one of the side effects with suicidal thoughts. Well, it made it worse. I'm like, oh my God. It got to the point where I've always been not a hunter, but I love guns, or I did at one time. I just don't have any interest in them. Not that I have nothing against them. It's just not me. I don't want to hunt because it's too cold. It's too early, and I don't want to fucking go. I'm sorry. I don't see you waiting 4 or 5 hours in 20 degrees weather, waiting on a four-legged animal to walk by. Now, I love deer meat, but I just don't want to go shoot it. Or wait, But anyways, so I go back, so I told Mom, I said, I can't excuse me. Drink some more whiskey, Eric Stone. So anyways, I had two pistols, revolvers, because I can't load an automatic, or I can't right now. So anyways, I was telling Mom, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And she goes, you don't need help, you just need to, forget about it. That's what everybody said. I was like, I can't. So finally, I had, I'm trying to think how this went, if I broke down in Walmart the first time or second time. No, the first time she was more comforting. She's like, well, it got to the point so bad one day that, like, I literally just walked away from my job. I was like, because I could not concentrate on what I was doing. She said, well, you need to do something because you got to work, I work for my family. So I called the doctor. She goes, what's going on? I told him what was going on. And he said, well, we can either do two things. You can either go, I went straight to the emergency room because that's what they did. I called the doctor and said, hey, I'm having suicidal thoughts. I don't know what to do. I've never had this happen before. So anyways, I go to the Boonville Hospital or local hospital, and they said what we can do is they checked everything. No, everything was working on, except for my mind. It was nuts. They said, what's going on? I told them I'm having suicidal thoughts. I think at that time, that the two guns I had, revolvers, I took and they were unloaded anyways, because I got a nephew and a niece at the time, and I kept it unloaded just because being safe, and I took them in another closet, because I live in a 3-bedroom house, or trailer, and literally put a freezer up against the wall, or the door to it, and because I was that scared I said, something's going to happen, either, I don't want to know what's going to happen. So anyways, so we go back to the hospital, or we're at the hospital. They said, what's going on? Suicidal thoughts. They said, we can do things. Either you go home. I said, I'm not going home. I said, something's got to be done. I said, I can't handle it anymore. Or you can go to a mental hospital. I said, let's do that. And like I said, I was just so out of my mind, going nuts, because that's all I thought about, and so they it was 3:30. I think we went at 4 o'clock that afternoon to the hospital, and went 4 or 5 hours later. They finally found me a hospital that they would allow me to go to, and we went. They took me by ambulance. Like I said, my mom was messed up so bad, but it gets better. Like I said, if you ever think about suicide, call somebody, go to the emergency room, do something. Do not do it, if at all possible. There are you will eventually get out of it. Believe me. But anyways, but about the same time that I was on the Ambien, he had prescribed me Lexapro because I was worrying about everything. I was like, dude, I mean, I'd even drive to, Fort Smith. Just wonder what, if I got in a wreck, what would happen. Worry about stuff that was so out of whack. So anyway, so I go to the mental hospital, or by ambulance, and the guys were really good to me. And he was showing me all the I love tattoos. I got two. I don't know if you see them. They're kind of upside down. They might be upright for y'all. But anyway. And he was showing me his tattoos. And we're going to Russellville. We went to St. Mary. Or I went to St. Mary. Checked me in and all that stuff. And but I said, about the third day, one thing you had to do there, which I hated at first. I will admit, I hate it with a passion. Was talk to while you're there. Tell people in a group there while you're there. I don't want to tell people I want to kill myself. I'm sorry, I just don't want to do it. And so I got somewhat used to it, and but even in the light, or even in the darkness, there's light. Because one of the things we had to do in St. Mary's was go around and say what our goal was for that day, whether it be eat more or not cry as much or whatever, and this one girl's like, I want to snort some type of pill. I can't remember what it was, but I said there's always something in there. But even at the darkest moments, there's funny moments. And, cause I got in trouble for laughing at her. I was like, dude, that's the funniest thing that's ever happened to me in a long, it was just the way she said it too. It's like, I want to snort, that was a Valium. I want to snort a Valium today. Anyways, and finally, but I stayed there 6 days that time. I had so much fun, I went back to the second time. No, I really did go back, but no, I didn't have fun. But anyways, I said, I got a question. I asked one of the nurses. She was like, what's that? I said, I've got these very vivid dreams of me walking around at like 3 o'clock in the morning around the wing of this hospital. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, was I up at 3 in the morning? She was like, no, everybody has to stay in their room till 7 o'clock in the morning or whenever breakfast was ready. I said, I can remember it just like that. So what are you on? So I'm on Ambien, Lexapro, this, that. I'm on a lot of things at that point. And she goes, it's probably the Ambien. So let's take that off your stuff you take. And we know and see if that helps. Sure enough, a couple of days it helped. Suicidal thoughts went away completely. Went away. Like I said, I was still on the Lexapro too. And but the funny thing was like I said, I got better really quick because I was off the Ambien and I was on the Lexapro, and which is anxiety and depression medicine. And so 6 days later, another funny thing that happened in that there's so many good people I met there. I mean, they helped me cut up my food. They were just nice people, with their own problems, and like I said, everybody goes through hard times at one point, and if it weren't for hard times, we wouldn't be who we would be, in my opinion. But anyways, so, I go to the, I was still listening to a lot of people, and you gotta listen to yourself at a certain point in your life. When you're a kid, you gotta listen to your parents, this and that, but once you become an adult, it's all you, you know. Don't worry about what other people think of you. As long as it's all, you know, nothing illegal or nothing. But I mean, you know, because I wanted, anyway, so this guy, Brandon Sims, said, hey, did you write a song? Because that was what he wanted me to do. I said, no. Dude, I couldn't think of nothing. He goes, oh, it'll come. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. But anyways, so a couple days go by, I'm still doing just fine. And then I was like, well, you need to get off that Lexapro because you don't need it. I was like, okay. I said, still listen to them. But I didn't realize once you get on them type of drugs that you can't just quit cold turkey. And that's exactly what I did. I quit taking it, you know, and so, about a week later, it progressed back into the suicidal thoughts again. So what is going on here, people? You know, or, you know, God, help me out, you know. And at that time, too, I was born and raised Roman Catholic. And I was trying to figure out my own way of, you know, religion and stuff like that. And I'd started going to a Methodist church where I live. And like I said, with my family, especially my grandma, or Mimi, I call her Mimi. It's like, you're Catholic, that's it. There's no other religion. And I just can't think that way. I've got to question I question a lot of stuff. And, but, so, I didn't tell nobody I was going to this other, you know, church. And she had found out through the town, in small town, you figure out everybody knows everything, you know, everybody knows everybody. And you talk, that woman was so mad at me. Oh my goodness. You talk about, God was with me when cause she had a meeting with me when she found out. Cause I worked for her. I was like, you know, but you really can't get away with stuff like that when you work for your family, you know. And we were in there about 15 minutes. I pretty much told her straight up, there's a lot of things I don't believe that the Catholics believe. I'm not down on anybody. It's just, I don't believe that way. This and that, you know. And, oh, she was mad. But anyways, eventually she got over it. But, so, like I said, I've been praying for what to do, this and that. And, so one day I called Brandon up, and I was like, dude, it's getting worse. Because what you need to do is sit down and write a song. It's like, dude, I can't. So I've tried. He said, I'll tell you what, he goes, write a song about what you've been going through the last couple of months. I was like, okay. So I was like, that sounds like a good, you know, and the bad part is I went to another, it wasn't St. Mary's again, it was at another place, and we had one communal room where we all together, you know, when we had our free time or whatever, and all they wanted to do was watch pro basketball, which I'm not a sports person, and wrestling. I'm like, who the hell watches wrestling anymore? I mean, really? Wrestling? But anyways, so I'm sitting there one day, and like I said, another thing we had to do, which we had to do I had to do at St. Mary's too, was, sorry. Getting a little tipsy here, but, yeah, I'm not perfect. But anyways, had to go around the room and talk about, you know, while we we're here, what our background was, all this blah, 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 blah stuff, you know. And there was a girl in there that, I remember what her name was. Honestly, I couldn't even remember her name. Her mother really made her do drugs. And she kept her home late for school. And so there was just something that caught my eye or my attention or whatever you call that. This girl's got a story, So I pretty much went through I wrote my first song. I talked about what she talked about, or what I guessed what went on in her house. I mean, she's discharged from the army. I don't know if it's dishonorably or not, but she'd been in the army. I mean, just drug addiction, and she was trying to get sober. And then I took what I was going through in the last couple months, and this and that, and then just pretty much tied the two stories together, and wrote a song called "A Beautiful Soul," And then I got another song. Like I said, I'm a big country music fan, traditional country music, not today's crap. And I got the idea for a song called Honky Tonk in the Night. And then, like I said, it just led me, and I figured out what my gift was writing. Because I started working on my novel more. I started working on songs. After that, I wrote a song called Podunk, and they're not bad at first. But like another funny story, I'll tell you this, well, not funny, but we were sitting there one night, or I think one night we had movie night, and we were watching Forrest Gump. It's either Forrest Gump or The Water Boy. I cannot remember what movie it was. Like I said, my mind was so out of whack. But anyways, so, and this black guy, which I have nothing, I'm not racist, I have nothing against anybody. If you're good to me, I'll be good to you. If you're not, I'll just stay away from you. That's how I roll. I mean, I get along with most anybody. But anyways, so, like I said, I wrote that, I was telling Brandon about it. This guy, my coworker, he's like, dude, that's awesome. That's what I knew you could do it. And then it just went from one idea for a song to two ideas. And the funny thing is, like I said, I'd been trying to write songs before that. And one of the songs I wrote was called Drink Until I Drown. Yes, I love drinking songs. I love sad country songs. And I'd actually use two lines that I wrote when I was about 17. I was walking in my Mimi's, we called it the green room, because it had green carpet. Yeah, we're weird like that in the country. And rural areas. But anyways, so I wrote this song, or these lyrics down. I didn't know they were lyrics and stuff. Just something I wrote down, and goes, when she told me she was leaving, I really wasn't believing. And I never took it to heart. And I kept that for years. I was like, well, maybe one day, just maybe one day. And I actually used it in a song, I think it was like the fourth or fifth song I wrote. Now, since 2016 to now, I've written about 48 songs. Lyrics, poems, I guess. There's no music to them. But, I found my gift, And like Steve Harvey said, it's going to be rough at first, You're going to go through things that you don't really want to, and to be successful, He said it's not for easy, or, for easy people. Ain't just going to come to you, And like I said, if you're struggling out there, pray. I mean, even if you're not religious, pray. I'm trying to think of who. Ray Wally Hubbard is one of my favorite songwriters, and he was a drug and alcoholic until he was 40. He's a Texas songwriter, and and at the age of 41, he started wanting to finger pick, and then he ended up getting sober after all them years. 20 plus years of doing cocaine and whatever it was. All the drugs he'd done, But, like I said, I talk to God regularly. I actually got that word right this time. There's a few words I can't pronounce, like regularly, because I just messed that up. Registration, I can't say that. And there's another one I can't say real good, even if I was stone cold sober. But like I said, I found my gift. Like I said, and then I started doing comedy on that. On top of that, I said, I like to, just do stand up one time. And you talk about I was scared shitless. There was, but I didn't know anything about it. And there was this, I live about an hour away from Fort Smith, which is the biggest city around here besides, yeah, it's about the biggest, about 100,000 people, 110 maybe. But, and I started off doing, going to shows because I wanted to write reviews for, artists. Because an uncle, I don't know if he was an uncle, but a relative of mine, it's like, you go to all these shows, you know all the songs, all the rides, you need to, write about and do a review. It's like, okay. So I started doing that, about the same time I was doing the songwriting. And like I said, I've met a lot of good people. And there's I think it's James 4, verse 3 and 4. Don't quote me. I'm not for sure. That says, you have asked not because you will, or you will not because you've asked not. You have not because you asked not. That's what it is. You have not because you asked not. It says, get you a vision board. That's what I got at the house, or on my computer. All the things I want to do. I'll tell you a story. When about a year ago, yeah, it's about a year ago. But about a year ago, I was like, it'd be cool because, like I said, I love musicians. I love songwriting, this and that. So it'd be cool to get a couple of signatures from bands on acoustic guitar. Just an acoustic guitar, And someone's like, Brandon, my buddy, goes, you need to just get it and just do it. He goes, you'll get the signatures. I was like, okay. So I bought this, at the time I was reviewing this band called Catch Kelly. It was two songwriters from Oklahoma and Fort Smith. And they would do covers and then their original stuff, And James Henry sold me a guitar for like $100. And, but, and at first I started getting local acts around the River Valley, which is what we call it around. I'm from Arkansas. Fort Smith, I'm about 2 hours from Little Rock. But anyways, and I was like, I like to get one guitar filled with signatures. And then it went from one, and now I'm on my 6th one. Now I've got everybody from Brian Head Welch from Korn, and I'm not lying. I don't lie that much, unless I'm making up comedy. The Kentucky Headhunters signed it. William Clark Green Band signed it. Randy Rogers has signed it. Cody Canada signed it. Jeremy Plato has signed it. Grady, the bass player from Jason Boland's Regulars, Boland signed it. Walker County signed it. They're a new group out of Nashville. They opened up for Jimmy Johnson a while back ago. Ray Benson from The Slip of the Wheel signed one of them. I mean, there's so many. Jason Campbell, Rocky Jones, Devin Robertson. I think Heath Moulton from Letters from Jet signed it. There's just so many that signed it, But what was funny is, first time I go, because I didn't know anything. There was a lot of free shows at the casino before this coronavirus had started. And I would go and write reviews of the bands I would go and see. And one of them was William Clark Green, great Texas country band. Country rock. Listen to them. Check them out if you haven't. And I said, but after the show, I said, hey, can they sign my guitar? If not, it's no big deal. Because I know how busy, these musicians are, And he goes, yeah. And but what was funny, the first time I went there at the Choctaw Casino in Pocola, Oklahoma, they know me very well. Because I would go there almost every weekend. Like I've seen Ray Sleep at the Wheel there. I've seen Cody Canada, Jason Bowen, William Clark Green, Steve Earle. Who else have I seen there? Clint Scholl's band. Numerous Kentucky Headhunters. But anyways, and he goes, yeah, just go back in the green room and they'll sign it. I was like, that's cool. That was really cool. That was one of my dreams, was to go, backstage and talk to a band, But what was funny, the first time I ever went there, I went up to the cop, because they got security all around, I said, hey, my name's Eric Stone. I'm a music writer. I'm trying to get signatures on a guitar. Do you mind if I bring it in? They said, well, I can't tell you that, but talk to one of the people in red shirts or maroon shirts and they'll tell you. I was like, okay, I'll do that. But I'd been going there, pretty regularly, pretty much every weekend, because they'd have different bands on, Friday and Saturday night. And Reed Southall band. But anyways, and after William Clark Green come up or played, I was like, I always stick around later than everybody else. A lot of people just leave after the show, but I want to talk to the performers and this and that. And I talked to this gentleman. I was like, hey, I'm a music writer. I do this for free, but I was wondering, hey, I got this guitar. Can you have William sign it? He goes, yeah, hang on real quick. I was like, okay, And William Clark Green says, hey, are you the guy that wanted to get guitar signed? I was like, if you don't mind, because I'm just that way. He just said, well, do you want me to sign it or the whole band? I said, well, whole band if you don't mind. Well, he actually brought me back there. I was like, that's cool, And, but they didn't want me going. They said, the cop says, you don't plan on going, or the Choctaw employee says, you don't plan on going backstage, do you? I said, not unless they invite me, no, I'm not going to go back there if I'm not allowed, He goes, okay, that's cool. Just, tell them what you're doing, this and that, But they were very cool about it, so. But like I said, if you haven't found your gift, I'm about to write this up. Pray on it. Ask God. Pray regularly. It doesn't matter what religion you are, whether you're Baptist, Protestant, Catholic, Jew, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever. Pray to God. Write it. Get your vision board. And keep working on your dreams and keep on trucking. So I'll see y'all later.